Hi, I'm Mike with Mike'sTravelGuide.com, and welcome to our weekly Q&A travel show, the show that helps you plan your trip to Europe. So we got several questions about our video getting from Amsterdam to Paris by rail, and if you haven't seen that video, you can do that by clicking here. We also got a few questions about getting from Paris to Versailles, and if you want to watch that video, you can do that by clicking here. If you want a more detailed step-by-step direction, you can visit our website here. And our first question is from V. Thank you very much for the helpful video. Do you have a video on how to get from Paris to CDG? Hi V, thanks for the question. No, unfortunately I do not have a video getting from Paris to CDG. It is going to be a very similar process though as getting from Paris to Versailles. You're going to go to your nearest metro station, purchase a ticket to go to CDG. You're going to see which is the easiest route to get to the nearest RER that services CDG. Once you've determined where you're going, you're going to enter the ticket to pass through the turnstile. Make sure you collect it before exiting the turnstile. You're going to make your way to the proper platform for the metro that's going to bring you to the station that's serviced by the RER. You're going to make your way to the RER platform and you're going to take the RER to CDG. Once at CDG, you're going to exit at the RER terminal and make your way to the terminal that's serviced by your flight. But all in all, like I said, if you watch the video getting from Paris to Versailles, it's going to be very, very similar, except it's getting to, of course, CDG. And our second question is from Carnet. Hello, we are traveling from Paris to Amsterdam and returning the same day. How early would you recommend getting to the train station? Carnet. Hi Carnet, thanks so much for the question. I believe the first train leaves a little after 6 in the morning. Now, I would recommend that you purchase your train tickets at least 2 months in advance, and that way you can save the most money on your train fare. If you didn't purchase your train ticket, I'd highly recommend that you purchase the train ticket the day before you travel, because purchasing the train ticket that early in the morning is a little iffy. If you have your ticket in hand, I would suggest being at the platform 15 minutes before your train departs. And that gives you enough time to determine where you need to stand at in the platform to get to the right car. So that would be my recommendation. Try to be there 15 minutes prior to the scheduled time of departure. And now it's time for this week's travel tips. Our first travel tip is when visiting Paris, we highly suggest you purchase the Paris Museum Pass. The Paris Museum Pass is a pass that you pay one price for, and you get to visit most of the museums throughout Paris. And what this does is this allows you to save a lot of money if you want to visit lots of museums. The other thing it does, it allows you to skip the ticket lines at most of these places. So that alone is worth the price. Imagine if you can save 2 or 3 hours, that's worth a lot of money. And the third thing it allows you to do is it allows you to see museums that you may not have a big interest in, but you're kind of curious about. If you see this museum and you're not too sure whether you want to spend the money or not, with the Paris Museum Pass, you just go right in. And if you like it, you can spend the amount of time you want to spend there. But if you don't like it, you can just leave and you didn't lose anything. You purchased the Museum Pass and you're not paying anything extra. So it gives you a certain level of freedom to see more in Paris. And our second travel tip is when traveling on the Paris Metro, we suggest you purchase a Carnet instead of a day pass. A Carnet is a book of 10 Metro passes which gives you 10 trips on the Metro. And if you're traveling alone, this would be enough probably for 2 days because you're more than likely not going to be taking the Metro more than 5 times per day. If you're traveling as a couple, it's really a big savings because you only have to purchase one Carnet instead of purchasing 2 Paris day passes. So all in all, I think this is a much better way to get around. It's certainly a much cheaper way to use the Paris Metro than purchasing the day pass. And now, this week's recommendations. Sticking with the Paris theme, we're recommending 2 restaurants in Paris. The first restaurant is Le Comptoir, and this is a great place to go for lunch. One, there's no reservations, which means you have to get there early. It's also a great place to go for dinner, but you have to have reservations for dinner. And what I gathered is you have to make those reservations pretty far ahead of time. The second recommendation is restaurant Polidor. It's about a 3-minute walk from Le Comptoir, and I highly recommend going there for dinner. Both of these places are great places. I enjoyed both meals at these places, so I'd highly recommend that you try either one of these places. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. If you have a question, you can email me here, and please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.